going on with y'all? It's your boy NeohXO bringing y'all a Black Clover episode 151 review. Before we get too deep, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with the notification bell on so you can be part of the notification gang. Now, Black Clover episode 151, this is probably the most hyped episode since the anime only content has began. And the reason for this is simply due to the fact that they have the Magic Knights captains fighting against each other. Now, people have been wanting this forever, and Studio Parrot, they gave it to us with this episode here, and I gotta say, I mean, it didn't disappoint. It was a pretty cool episode, pretty cool concept, you know, because these guys are considered amongst the strongest members of the Clover Kingdom, and to see them battling against each other, that's really cool. Not only for us as the audience, but also for the Clover Kingdom citizens. Now, the whole reason for this battle in the first place is so that we have to remember that this is before the time skip, so this is still pre-time skip. So this is after all the stuff like how the elves invaded and like kind of messed over the kingdom. So King Julius has this plan to pretty much broadcast this entire match to the entire Clover Kingdom through the help of Marks, and this is, in his opinion, this is the best way to get the Clover Kingdom citizens to regain their trust and faith in the Magic Knights, because like these guys are powerful, and most of the people in the Clover Kingdom are not this powerful. We've seen the Devil Believers arc where some of the people pretty much had nearly no mana or no magic to do like some crazy attack spells or anything like that. So anyways, getting into specifics of this episode, it was basically two teams and they were separated, and it was a 4-on-4. Rill was not included, and the reason I think is just because like they needed it to be kind of a fair match, because if Rill was included, it would have been uneven teams, and then people would have been like, oh, well, that team was uneven, they had an extra member, so if one team had an extra member, it would have invalidated a lot of stuff in certain people's opinions. For instance, if they would have won with an extra team member, people would have been like, oh, they only won because they had an extra team member. And if they would have lost, they would have been like, ooh, they're kind of really bad because they lost with an extra team member. I was satisfied with the outcome of this fight. I'll tell you more about that as we talk about it, but for the most part, the animation in this episode was really good. I gotta say that about the animation in this episode. Pretty good animation. I mean, it makes sense they would want to animate this episode really good because it's the Magic Knight squad captains, you know, and they just straight up clashing. So basically we got Fugelian, Charlotte, William, and Dorothy on one team, and then the other captains are on the other team, including some notable captains like, I mean, all of the captains are notable, but some fan favorites on the other team like Yami and Jack Nozel teaming up, you know. And it was a really good match overall. It really was. It kind of seemed like Fugelian's team held the lead for a lot of the match because of some certain things that went down, such as Dorothy actually trapping Yami, and I put trapping in quotation marks. Something cool that really happened too. I'll touch on it. I'm trying to touch on things in order a little bit. Basically, they're fighting in the forest, and they have like all type of room to just go crazy. So they was pretty much going all out. But like I said, this is pre-time skip. After time skip, they get way stronger than this. But this definitely is going to put the faith back in the citizens of the Clover Kingdom. And not only the Clover Kingdom, but also us as the audience. For example, a lot of people tend to say that William does not know how to fight, which is just absurd. There's no way he could have possibly became captain of the #1 Magic Knight squad without knowing how to fight. Like, just listen to how that sounds. Okay, so I'm glad we got this episode because this solidifies the fact that William actually knows how to fight. He was fighting against strong captains, Captain Yami, Captain Jack, you know, and he was actually doing his thing. If he did not know how to fight, Yami would have just like messed over him. But they were actually, he's a different type of fighter. I'll give you all of that. You know what I mean? I'll go halfway with y'all, I guess. He's a strategic fighter, but like he could fight, man, and like he has an enormous amount of mana, and you can definitely tell because like when you look at it, something like the Devil Believers arc, you can see them. Some of them can't do anything. Like some of them literally can't do anything with their magic. Now look at William. This man, William, is literally raising up trees out of nowhere. Like he's raising up pretty much almost a forest or like a small forest of trees out of the ground. That is immense. You need immense magic to do that. Again, look at the Devil Believers arc. Those people cannot do that. You need a lot of mana to do that, and also a lot of mana control, and also you need to know how to strategize and use that. So William, hats off to you, William. I give you all of your props, man. Like you really showed what you're capable of, as did the other captains such as Fugelian. Now Fugelian is a different case. Pretty much everybody, you know, expects Fugelian to be this fluent fighter as he was in this episode. It was kind of cool seeing him push the back a little bit because we don't get to see him push back. Now there's like kind of a joke that kind of Patry just took him out like easily in the beginning, but now we all know that the only reason that was able to happen is because they kind of suckered him. They kind of snuck him out of nowhere. So that was not a fair fight. Who knows how that fight would have turned out if in fact Patry had given Fugelian a fair fight. But ever since then, Fugelian has been on a roll. Like Fugelian has been showing what he's truly capable of, and we see this with him facing off against NeohXO. We know that they're notable rivals to each other, and NeohXO basically was going all out against Fugelian, and not only that, NeohXO actually accepted the help from Kaiser, which was surprising. I would have thought that NeohXO would have gone for a one-on-one, but I guess this makes more sense considering that NeohXO kind of has to get the job done, and he was just going for the win. He wasn't trying to fight Fugelian for any selfish reasons. He was just actually trying to straight up win. Another cool matchup that happened was Dorothy versus Yami. Now, the reason for this is because ever since Yami's Dark Cloaked Dimension Slash was revealed, people have been wondering, I wonder if this can cut through Dorothy's dream magic, and we have the answer in this. Like Yami just straight up cut straight through that glamour world. He wasn't having it, and yeah, like we have our answer. Like it's a different dimension. You know, the glamour world is a different dimension. We know this because they basically said it. Okay, it's a different dimension. It's a different dimension. Like they couldn't even see it from the citizen standpoint because Marks could not communicate that dimension. So Yami sliced through that dimension. He ends up cutting both of the crystals, and it resulted in a tie. Now, I can't say that I was surprised that it resulted in a tie because at the end of the day, this match was to gain faith in the Magic Knight Squad's captains. Also, from a story writing standpoint, if you were to have one team beat the other, people would not put the captains on equal footing. Power scalers would go crazy. They would be like, oh, this captain is stronger than this captain who was on this team and they lost. You know, we would have stuff like that. And, you know, the animators wanted to make sure that every captain they want to protect the likability of every captain, you know, because some of them people might think are weak if they were to lose a fight. So they're just protecting that. So now there's still room for debate because it ended in a tie. Basically, they didn't decide for us. They're going to let us, the audience, decide who is stronger. So let me know in the comments. We can have a discussion about Black Clover and all of that good stuff. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeohXO, and I'm out.